Susie Q.
Yeah, g'day, Fight You 360 fans. It's your old mate, Big J. And again today, we have the distinct pleasure of talking to the greatest of all time, Australian female boxing, Susie Q Ramadan, who is now fighting Cherneka Johnson for the IBF Super Bantamweight title on the undercard to Haney Kambosos 2. It'll be in Australia on October 16th at Rod Laver Arena. It'll be on Main Event, and it's a top-ranked production. Champ, welcome back to the channel. Finally, you get the fight you deserve.
Yeah, well, finally I get the title I've been chasing for. So obviously it's a different weight division, but you know it's a great opportunity. Obviously the world title and being on the Kambosos undercard. I mean, doesn't get better than that. You know, in my hometown. So yeah.
Yeah, it's an absolutely fantastic opportunity for you and Cherneka to showcase your skills, and you had a bit of a media announcement out there the other day, so the fans can be well aware of that is going to happen, and it's going to be on the undercard. It'll be yourself, the Maloney twins, and a few others, but I think, have you been told, you're obviously going to be on the main event portion of the card. It'll just be the 4 fights with yourself, the Maloney twins, and then the big one? Is that your understanding of what's going on, or you haven't been told yet?
Oh, look, I've heard there's a few other fights on there as well, so yeah, but you know that's obviously up to them to announce it or whatever. So I'm not sure yet.
Yeah, but the main focus is that you're on the card fighting for a world title. That's the main focus. So
yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. So how did this fight come about? Because it's a bit of left field, but no one really cares. Everyone's happy about it. So.
Yeah, which is good. I'm glad that everyone's happy about it. But, I mean, there was an opportunity to fight Jamie Mitchell for the WBA Bantamweight World title, but unfortunately, she couldn't get to Australia or, something like that. But, yeah, so, you know, they wanted a world title fight, and so that was a perfect fight to get together. There's no one else here in Melbourne that has a world title, and Cherneka Johnson, I mean, her ex-team were done a great job in getting her the IBF title after losing to Shannon O'Connell. So, and she's got the title, and we're both based in Melbourne. Well, I was born and raised here. She's based here, I think, or Queensland, I'm not sure. And, and it's just, it's just turned out that way, so it's great.
All the ducks have lined up in a row, and we're going to see one of the most significant all Australian female fights actually in Australia, and unfortunately for Australian fans, Ebony versus Shannon, which is going to be in the UK. So
yeah, I mean, well, Cherneka Johnson's obviously from New Zealand, and
she's been here since she was a child, I've been told. So she's been here for a long time. So.
Yeah, well, she was born in New Zealand. I was born in Melbourne, Australia, and so that's a great fight. And you'd think that you two Australians who were actually born in Australia to fight, should be fighting in Australia. It'd be massive, But what's happening in the UK, from what I've heard, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's going to be on the undercard to the Josh Warrington Luis Lopez fight for Warrington's IBF featherweight title in Leeds on December 10 in Australia, 10 in UK, and December 11th here. So, yes, and there's been a fair bit of outrage about that one on social media. Fans are rightfully so pretty upset, but we should focus on the things that we've got, because if they're that, you want to see a great female fight, come on down to Melbourne and watch yourself fight Cherneka.
Yeah, of course, it's going to be a great fight, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. So with this fight, knowing that, Cherneka's a little bit bigger, but this is nothing new for you, because you've told me many times at the start of your career you were fighting women that were 20, 25 pounds heavier than you. So...
Yeah, I was. Obviously, there wasn't as many females around back then, so, so I fought a super bantamweight. Obviously, I didn't actually get to make the weight, super bantamweight, but, I was always obviously lighter. But, but I fought a few of the girls. I mean, they were heavier than, super bantam. I think they've fought at other weight divisions heavier. But, look, I mean, even the bantamweight girls, I mean, they're not really bantamweight when they jump in the ring, so most of these girls, Cherneka and And Ebony, I mean, they walk around at 68 kilos, you know, so they're pretty heavy girls. But yeah, look, I mean, I've been happy to, like, I'm one of those fighters who just fight, doesn't matter whether they're tall, they're south, or they're heavier, or whatever it is, a fight's a fight, this is boxing, and you know, that's what we're here to do.
Yeah, I mean, and if you get the win, this will be your sixth title in 3 divisions. Yes, because you've won titles at Super Bantam, and Super Fly. So,
yeah.
Because your first title was the IBF Bantamweight title.
Yeah.
Now held by Ebony. Then you won...
Actually, prior to that was the Super Bantam WBF.
Yeah, that's right. It was too. Yeah, Super Bantam WBF, then IBF, then WBC, then WBF Bantam. Is that the correct order?
No. WBF, Super Bantam, WBF Bantam, sort of, and then obviously getting the ratings up. But I got the OPBF title to get me that, you know, the ratings, and then for the major titles, and then I fought for the Bantam IBF, and then the WBC International title to get me in that spot, number 1 spot, to fight for the world title, which went to first bid and all that sort of stuff, and and then the WIBA in super flyweight. Yeah,
which was a couple of years ago. Yeah. So your last fight, you know, obviously, you know, exactly what you needed in preparation for this fight against Temuda Okuda. It was a good fight. I mean, obviously, I was there. So, do you think that is obviously going to help you get more prepared for this fight?
Definitely, because obviously I was out for 2.5 years due to COVID and stuff like that, lockdowns, and so. Yeah, I did get that ring rust out, and you know, she was a bit awkward, and you know, she was doing a bit of holding and stuff like that, and you know, from what I'm aware of, Cherneka tends to hold a bit. You know, she lost the hug, so which I find is cute. So she'll probably be giving me some bear hugs. She likes to hold and stuff like that. So yeah, that I reckon was good. It was a good hit out, and you know, good 8 rounds, and yeah, so definitely would have helped for this fight for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And where do you think this fight of yours and Cherneka holds in the significance of Australian women's boxing? It's got to be right up there. I mean, there's only been, what, 2, I think? 2 Aussie-on-Aussie female fights for world titles before this? The only one I can think of is Shannon versus Diana, and that was a fair while ago.
Yeah, was that a title fight? I can't remember.
Yeah, that was WBC Super Feather.
At
the Pavilion,
yeah.
Diana versus Shannon.
That's right.
Yeah,
it was too. Okay,
yeah. Diana knocked Shannon out in that one. And the only one.
Yeah, Diana was.
Yeah, she was a beast.
Diana, she's obviously she was a lot bigger as well. So I remember sparring Diana Prozac, and yeah, you know, she was very heavy-handed.
Yeah.
For a big girl, she actually had the power behind it, you know. So
yeah, definitely. Yeah. So where would you rate this? Where would you rate this one?
Look, this is a really good fight, you know, for Australia. I mean, for women's boxing in Australia altogether. You know, regardless whether she's from New Zealand or, you know, for Australian boxing, I mean, to have world title fights happening, I think it's great. Like, I think any world title fight, female fights happening here in Australia is amazing. It's just building up the sport. You know, Australian boxing's on fire now. There's, you know, the guys and the girls now. You know, it's really kicking. So, yeah, the more fights, the more title fights, the bigger fights, the better fights, the better it is. You know, so.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, because this year's been the year that doesn't stop giving. I mean, we've had Ebony win a world title, Cherneka, Jaya Pattaya with easily the upset of the year. I don't think anyone would dispute that. Beck Hawker's won a minor title over the English girl about a month ago. Who else is in there? Dennis Hogan's getting a title shot next week.
Taylor Robinson's won a junior title.
Yeah, Taylor Robinson. Yeah, that's right. She won that. Was it the IBF youth title against the Venezuelan girl?
I said junior, I mean youth.
Yeah. The IBF youth title against the Venezuelan girl. God, who else is in there? There's someone we're forgetting. I'm pretty sure there is. But anyway, it's the year that just doesn't keep. George, that was it. George, it's the main event. How did I forget bloody George? Oh, jeez.
Because he won more than one title.
Yeah, but that was last year. That wasn't this year. That was last year. So
Yeah.
yeah. So on the main event, obviously Haney versus Kambosos. Haney touchdown in Melbourne. I think it was on Thursday. He's back in the country anyway.
Yeah.
Which is always good to have him here. How do you think the rematch is going to go?
I think, look, obviously, I think George Kambosos, he would have done his homework, go back and watch his last fight with Haney, and maybe a different game plan and stuff like that. So maybe they've got something under their sleeve, and I'm pretty sure that, Haney's would be aware that he, obviously George would have to, try some other game plan, so that he'll have to up his game too. So, Haney's a really slick boxer, so, we obviously want George Kambosos to win the fight, and but yeah, just don't know.
Yeah.
Let's hope George wins it.
Yeah, we all hope George does. And as I've said before on the channel, his game plan needs to completely revert back to what he did against Lopez to win the fight. So he's got to be that straight come forward pressure fighter, and just come forward at Haney, because that's the one thing that that I've picked up, is that most boxers who are very slick, as soon as someone comes at them, they're like, oh, hang on a second. If a range fighter, the first thing you do with a range fighter is get inside of him or her, and if they can't keep you off you, they're in all sorts of trouble. So I think that's what George needs to do, is just get in his face from the opening bell and put the pressure on him from day one. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. So it's going to be a fantastic event. Have you ever been to Rod Laver to watch the tennis before, champ?
Yeah, I have. I've been there to do some signings for the young kids over there as well, the young tennis players. It's a really good place.
Yeah, I've never been there. So is it like as enclosed as people say it is? Like it's virtually just tennis court stadium? It's like a theatre sort of thing, or is it like?
Yeah, it's really cool. Like, it looks so nice as well, and it's not hard to find. And it's pretty popular in Melbourne. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Due to the tennis and stuff like that. And we all love our tennis here, so great place to have the boxing.
Yeah, because there has been an event there before. I don't know if you remember, but Jeff Harding fought Dennis Andrews #2. When was that? 1990?
Yeah, they had a few fights there, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually a friend of mine has fought on there as well, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to going there for the first time and seeing just what, all the bells and whistles are about. But last question, champ. If you get the nod, what are you going to do?
It's not if, it's when I get the nod. Look,
I have to remain impartial, champ. I can't be biased here, champ. You know that.
Well, I think she's she wants a rematch clause in the contract. So, I think the contract's she's only just signed it. So, I haven't seen it yet. But yeah, I think she wants a rematch, which I'm not sure. It's not my weight division. It's just a great opportunity to get another title at a different weight, and the exposure and all that sort of stuff. And she can always fight for it if I vacate it. But yeah, I don't know. So I just got to wait and see. I mean, if she wants a rematch clause, then we're going to have to do that, aren't we? So
go from there. Actually, one more. Who on the up and comers of the females? The Australian boxing females? Who's on your radar as the up and comers? The ones that the ones to watch in the next 3 or 4 years? Because obviously yourself, Shannon, and the older ladies aren't going to be around forever. So who do you think will have the mantle to, lack of a better term, take your spot when and if you retire?
I can't tell, because lots of them are now they're coming up. They're all pretty good, so they're learning a lot about the boxing skills, and so they're real. I don't know, to be honest. There's so many of them now, but they're not getting that exposure just as yet. But look, I like Taylor Robinson's style. I think she's good. She can go far. We've got Sky Nicholson.
Yep.
Mousy Jacobs actually fighting her.
Yeah, Mousy Jacobs fighting Sky on that Eddie card night before your fight.
So yeah. And there's obviously that other girl in Queensland who just fought. Did she win the WIBA?
Oh yeah, Beck.
Beck Hawker.
Beck Hawker. Yep, that's her. Yep, that's her.
Yeah. DD Hobbs is coming back.
Yeah, she's been out
for
a
not coming
while.
back, but she's. Yeah, I think. But she's fighting again soon. I think. Yeah. So there's quite a few girls around. So yeah, I mean, it'd be good. It'd be good if they all do. The more the merrier.
Yeah, exactly. Because
for Australia,
no limit to their credit with this Super Saturday thing they're putting on next week. I think there's at least 4 or 5 girls fights. So
that's good.
Yeah, they're getting all their talent that is available on that card, which is fantastic. I mean, we've got you and Cherneka on the massive top ranked card, which is going to be beamed all over the world. Eddie's got, even though we're not really happy about it, Eddie's got fighting Shannon in England. So there's another card that's going to be beamed around the world. So 2022 continues to be the year that continues to give to Australian boxing, and we're so happy that you're back, and B, you're fighting for another world title.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Yeah, appreciate it. So thank you very much.
Happy too. Good times. Good times for Australian boxing. It's good to be part of it, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so appreciate you joining us again on the channel, champ. I'll literally see you at the fight because I'm going to be there.
Yeah.
And appreciate your time. Thanks for being on the channel. As always, guys, like and subscribe to the video.
Thank you.